A good way to identify now is a junior developer or it's a senior developer by asking them how AI impacts your job. That was my expectation. Like, yeah, I will just describe it vaguely and then get an amazing result right after. And I think the coding, how we know it, it will also change. So much to uncover.
Yeah, that's the next hour.
Exactly.
Denis, welcome. Thank you for the time, and I'd love to get some of your takes on recent developments in AI and how that combines with commerce and, of course, what we're building at Spryker. So first off, of course, we're all vibe coding these days. So have you been vibe coding? Is this something that you've tried? and what came out of that?
I did a lot. So nothing good came out of that.
Yeah.
I was actually vibe coding since last year, like somewhere November last year. That's where I already started playing with that. That was a hardcore exercise because nothing was working and I couldn't formulate it properly and every single mistake you could do, I did it. Just like week one, it's exactly like my checklist. Okay, let's do. Let's give vague requirements to get the very precise output.
Yeah. It's always a great ingredient for success.
Exactly, that was my expectation. Like, yeah, I will just describe it vaguely and then get an amazing result right after in 5 seconds. Didn't work out, but after a couple of weeks and then months of getting away, I actually could build a couple of pet projects, which was quite fun exercise. I mean, all my to-do list, the thing that I was postponing for years, I was like, it's actually a very good time to try it out. Like, why not? I have a weekend to spare. I can build stuff up, and it's actually pretty fun. Like tons of things. You had just an idea how it should look like. You could actually touch it in a couple of days of vibe coding. Super cool.
Yeah. So things you didn't dare ask a junior developer.
Nobody. I did there myself to ask. I was always oh no, if you start doing that, you will fail for sure. So that's why I was postponing it. but then I tried it and hey, it worked. actually, yeah, I can still build stuff.
So you've been trying that for about half a year now, then. So do you see value in this? Do you see this ending up in there? I mean, nothing valuable came out of it yet. But do you see this moving into a direction where it can add value, like at Spryker, in the actual process of creating software?
It's like it definitely adds value. It definitely. I think we sometimes think very narrow about what value exactly, because we have very clear expectations what value we want. We want that thing that I can formulate vaguely. We can get very crystal clear implemented in the next second. Right. This is our best expectation. But the problem is, or the challenge is that you can get value, but in a very unexpected places. Like you didn't expect that this value will exist in that way. I remember the first times we started to play with AI was like more than a year or a year and a half ago. And we wanted to optimize testing. And we said but now QAs can write tests much faster, right? Like you can just build them faster. And we appeared, no, actually to formulate your thoughts in prompt, you actually spend a lot of time doing that as well. So the time that you spend there formulating prompts still was quite high. Yeah. But we found the value is elsewhere, and the value was in the test cases coverage. So in how deep the test cases were, how high quality, like how quality changed of these test cases. So they were deeper, they were more thoughtful. They caught very tricky situations that we couldn't even think about before. But it wasn't about speed. The speed remained the same. The quality of the outcome was new.
Okay, interesting. So prototyping, that's what I'm hearing.
Talking about specifically vibe coding in development, prototyping, it's exactly one of the outcomes and values I see. Like the people that don't have technical skills don't have deep technical skills, like you don't know how HTTP exactly works in details, like what exactly unique process will be triggered and so on. But then you can build a prototype in just a couple of minutes and maximum hours. You can build a prototype. But again, I think people put too much pressure on that and say it's just prototype and it's not working really. It's not production ready. Yeah, but previously you had to spend like weeks and sometimes months to build the first prototype and MVP, and that poor product manager had to spend like 90 pages to explain what does they want, right? Now you can just 15 minutes to like maybe for something bigger, 2 days of prototyping with vibe coding, you actually explain it very clearly what you want and how you want it.
Yeah. And the engineering itself, do you see efficiency increasing there?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like the thing we saw that everybody will be on the same level, but obviously they didn't realize. So what I see that the value that we have on this more senior side of engineers, it's much higher. It's basically the most senior engineers are now 10 times faster than the junior engineers, and it's a big problem for junior engineers in general now. But even if you don't touch this part now, that how fast junior or middle engineers can do what they can do, it's just maybe a couple of percent, maybe up to like 20% faster, better, or more like deeper knowledge that they get when working with software. But I see plenty of cases where senior developers or top engineers get like 10 times faster. Basically, they optimize their development like 90% of things that are done. And I at some point, like a couple of months ago, like probably 3-4 months ago, we had this AWS CTO summit, and we discussed this AI topics and how it works. And I remember we came to a conclusion that it's actually a good way to identify now it's a junior developer or it's a senior developer by asking them how AI impacts your job. Because junior developer would say, it's actually so frustrating, it hallucinates a lot, and it doesn't do what I want, and there are so many bugs, and every time I get code snippet, it doesn't work, and I need to fix it, and so on. It's heavy. It's better for me to write just by hand things that I want to build, right? And then you ask a senior developer, and they say, it's amazing. I'm 10 times faster. I know exactly, like, yes, I get this 1% of mistakes all the time, but I know exactly where they are and how to fix them. So I would rather automate 90% of code writing and engineering tasks, and then spend my time fixing this 1% rather than being copywriter for my code, right? And you can clearly see this trend that more senior developers have more value from what's available.
Oh well, that might actually help. So I mean, there's of course worries about how AI is going to impact the whole developer market, and if AI is taking care of all the easy stuff that junior developers are currently doing, how are they ever going to get the experience to become a senior developer, right? But what you're saying, that's interesting, because you say, well, it doesn't really help junior developers, so they might still be doing that grunt work anyway to hopefully someday level up and actually make use of that AI.
Yeah, it's very hostile place now for junior developers, junior engineers. I think it's this Euler waves where you have a big wave and then it's going slower outside on the later phases. It's the same happens in other industries as well and in other roles as well. So I think engineering is just in the center of this change. That's why we feel the impact so high. However, I think it's related to other roles as well. Being a junior now, it's very complicated because you yet don't know how to formulate what you want properly in words that will be fast understood, and not only by AI, but other people as well, right? So you still kind of struggling with this part, and you are learning. And on the other side, if you are learning, in general, what is learning, right? Learning, it's like 2 days of frustration and pain and sweat and nothing.
Only 2 days?
Yeah, like you are trying to solve one problem. Yeah, like you want to learn this little thing, like little maybe library, maybe component. You just want to build it. What is learning? You start from nothing and reading, and it's hardship, and there is like so much frustration. It doesn't work. But why they did it this way, right? And the pain. And on the other side of the scale now is I can ask it AI. And in 10 seconds, I get an answer, right?
Yeah.
No pain, no frustration, just get an answer, right? But there is no learning component to it. And this is what is interesting now, that I think it's not only the engineering skills that are not growing. I think we also, our ability to learn as people in general will decrease as well. the same way as now getting an answer is easier than read the book, right? Like before it was like Stack Overflow, but now it's just accelerated. That it's you have a question without figuring out the space, you just get an answer, right? Without thought process to this answer, right? Yeah. So it's complicated, and for juniors, I think it's very complex. I see the number of positions open now is really low. Like the openings for junior positions is super low. Another side, you can see that the senior positions are thriving, right? And everybody needs every position requires AI prefix or suffix to it, right? Like is it now it's not engineer, it's an engineer with AI capability. Yeah. It's a given, it's requested now. It's mandatory.
Yeah, all the jobs, it's an AI engineer, AI architect, AI developer.
Yeah. Even you do e-commerce, but you now need to be an AI engineer. You need to be a prompt expert. You need to be a data expert as well, by the way, right? Like I think we also underestimate how data science is liberating now. Like that before it was unique knowledge in very narrow circle of people. Now, if you're an architect, you don't understand data architecture, how what is data quality, how to work with that, what is data sources, how to aggregate data, how to work with data, where to store data, how to scale data, right?
Yeah.
You cannot do it much because everything that can be already automated, and you need to work with data on almost on everything that you do now.
But it's also a bit of a Myers-Briggs effect there, not Myers-Briggs, the other one where you where just a little bit of extra knowledge gives you way too much confidence. As a psychologist, I should know the term. I totally forgot. We'll edit that in later.
I know what you're talking about.
But that's also a risk with AI, right? So it gives you some confidence that, oh, hey, I can actually do this, while still, like you say, if you're the junior or the meteor, actually it's not really helping you. It might actually hurt you, and especially when you present something to others, and then they can call you out on it.
Yeah, this overconfidence, I also see it in many founders and young founders, especially that. That there are regular talks that I have. It's like, I know what I want to build, so I will just spend the weekend white coding, and I'm ready to launch it next week with my customers. So I know exactly what to do, and their level of working with AI is ChatGPT kind of. So it's really scary how easily they take now technical developments like production releases, scaled releases, security, all of these topics that are relevant for enterprise and B2B, how now new age founders take it for granted that I will answer it anyway, like ChatGPT will solve it for me. I think it might happen soon, but it didn't happen yet. And that gap now, and together with overconfidence, it's a direct way to failure.
Yeah, and how do you see this in active production environments at Spryker? How do we handle this? How do we make sure that, hey, we're talking about the same thing? We want to use AI, and we want to indeed have everyone be that 10x developer. How do we set up guardrails for this, or checks and balances, basically, for what we produce?
Yeah, I think one of the best thing that worked for us is leading by example. Just showcasing and emphasizing and highlighting those examples that people get crazy productivity with their tasks. Like, you can build now a feature in 5 days, right? Like, people couldn't believe it. Like, you look into that, like, yeah, but did you really create all the widgets? Okay, but did you have a database changes? Did it really have the denormalization and scalability? Did we address the security? Yeah, like of course, like everything is there, but it's so hard to imagine that the previous development that were estimated, like literally tickets that were estimated like 50 days of development, now can be done in like 5 days, 10 days, like to production. Of course, like it's not like so simple, but still. with the highest quality possible, right? Like with the quality standards didn't decrease because like we still have the same QA and quality gate there.
Yeah.
And when people see it in live, then something changes, right? Like something first of all, something drops, something is dying inside. Like the guy, the typing guy, so or girls who is typing the text of the code, this is the one that is dying internally, like inside, and the one who is open for exploration is striving. Like you see them, really, I can do this, and can I talk with you for a moment? I want to just explore how can I use it, how to make my prompts better, right? But this is like, it's already a good step. Like you get the people involved and everybody's interested, and then it's everybody wants to contribute to that. Everybody wants to show up and say like, look, that thing I built just because of AI and just because of LLM now possible. And it changed the way how we present things. The speed of change is just crazy. I host regular internal meetings, like every 3 weeks. I host a meeting called technology lunch and update meeting, and I see that number of topics is just going over the roof. Like every week to week, I get new topics that people want to discuss, prototyped or already done, on new developer experience, new developer practices. Yeah. People are really excited about that, and it's a big portion of that. It's highlighting the good examples of where it worked.
Yeah. So what I've also seen happening is that because of AI, like you say, instead of 50 days, we now have 5 to 10 days where we can develop something similar. And people, this also makes it easier for people to explore new things, right? So, I mean, you have this old backlog and you say, oh yeah, we could try this, but yeah, it takes 50 days or 100 days. That's really expensive. Where if it takes 5 to 10 days, we might be way more open to these things. But then how do you still, you still need to prioritize these things. Yeah. So you have way much more things to prioritize that are on your list. The possibilities are bigger. You can do more things. How do you guys handle that?
Yeah, I think I think it wasn't ever a problem of prioritization, right? Like if you are clear on your strategy, if you know what your objectives and values are, then priorities are just fall in it. It's super easy. You can say, like, if you have good, clear objectives that everybody understands, then you can easily understand, is it ticket relevant, or is it issue relevant, or is initiative relevant, can it contribute or not, right? Like ROI calculation kind of is very simple, because you're like, do we really do this thing or not? And then you have a priority list. But then what we really gained is with this shortened time to market for every single development, obviously our roadmap became more flexible, right? Because instead of like blocking 50 days items that block half your roadmap, right? Like you get 10, 20 of them, and you know exactly what you will be doing in like 2 quarters, which is ridiculous, right? Like ridiculous in the agile world we live in, with so many changes and indicators coming every day. Having a like sticked answer what you are going to do in 2 quarters, half a year, it's really dangerous, right? Like it's very dangerous to have this promise, because the moment you hold it, it's irrelevant. Yeah. That's why I think having this flexibility on moving things around, obviously you need to have like some milestones and important things that you want to do and progress strategically, right? But also you need to be open for change. And the smaller chunks of information you operate in, and I'm talking about tickets or initiatives, as better your flexibility and changing that. So basically learning new information from feedbacks, from customers, from market, and changing it and replacing one ticket with other tickets.
But Dennis, do you think that just a temporary thing? So previously we had these really approaches that took a long time, because AI, this is now going down, so we can do these same size projects but faster, so the time is going down. But aren't you afraid that's just a temporary situation where now expectations are rising of the projects that we're doing? So those expectations of what we can do with AI are rising. So in half a year, we're back at the same situation, where we have these, again, 50 to 100 hour projects now with AI that we have on our roadmap.
So look, I feel kind of safe because the expectations were raised far before AI could show the results. Like if you like, I looked in this big analyst reports. They were already indicating 40 to 50% of rise in productivity of engineers. Like 2 years before I seen the first vibe coding demos, and that was very scary because expectations were growing like much faster than the actual outcomes we could see. Now they kind of go into parity, but obviously reality will never catch with all the best analysts, right? Like all the best reports that are given there. It's still not possible to catch up on the expectations that are coming from analysts and from market, right? As well, it's reality. It's expectations growing not just by reports, but by market realities. You need to change this problem. You need to solve this problem now. You need to solve this problem faster. Your customer needs to see this change today or yesterday, right? So we need to still do it. And then it's like, it comes to evergreen story, that Jeff Bezos was telling about the Amazon. Like every customer would want to have a faster shipment at all times, right? So every customer, every business would want to have more value yesterday, right? So I think it will be always there, and it is always with us. So having this eager and high expectations to what we do, it will remain with us. What I think is that now we have kind of this gap of like we have some time, short period of time where we just know what to do, and we just need to work it out. We need to clean up our backlogs, just do stuff, right? Like just clean it up. The next, what is interesting then, it's coming the next phase, which is the innovative phase, because now we're from like just nailing your backlogs, you will need to innovate. And that's where AI is great at scaling things, basically doing repetitive things that are already known, scaling them quickly, but introducing new knowledge, new indicators, new data, or new approaches to the same thing. That's where I think it's not yet good as we now expect it to be good, right? Yeah. So we put too much pressure on AI and LLMs to be a better at predicting things and projecting things and being at the like future oriented. It's absolutely not future oriented. It's all backwards oriented. It's statistical machine in the end of the day, right? Yeah. And that's where I think like once we clean up these backlogs, there will be a really, really good question of, okay, but what's next? What is your initiative that is different to other and yet not scaled to the global companies over the world, right?
Yeah, and then how do you see this translate? So we just spoke about how we handle this like internally for internal teams working with AI. Any predictions on how AI is going to change? Well, either e-commerce in general, or like e-commerce platforms specifically.
Oh, that's so much to uncover.
Yeah, that's the next hour.
Exactly. I think we could spend really like a separate hour talking about that, because the changes, first of all, like there is a gradient of changes, right? Like there are some companies that are driving the way for these changes, and there is a really long tail of companies that are still on the path of changing the internal policies, on the data policies, on understanding what data is and what AI actually is, right? Like integrated into initiatives and strategy. They have a really long path. So it's really a gradient of things that will happen. But we see things happening as like there is a lot happening on the e-commerce like storefront side, basically customer communication, how customers interact. But these changes are more opportunistic. Basically, everybody is experimenting now. What does it mean? Do we need now e-commerce as it was before? Do we need even web pages to look like they looked before? Do we need this, that service looks like a page with content on the right side and navigation on the left side? Do we need that? No, like it doesn't seem like we don't need it anymore, right? Like, and there are all of these things like people trying out and experimenting and failing and succeeding, right? Like it's now very robust place to the changes happening.
Maybe we need to no longer website, but just the only thing we need is something that feeds the AI
With
So
data.
you can just order your stuff through an AI bot.
Exactly. Like you imagine you have a UI as a chat or assistant or even AI agent that is trained to operate on your behalf to buy best socks in the world with Spryker logo on them. So and
same as if you need help with the product, right? I mean, the support can be done through the AI. If you need any documentation, ask the AI.
Exactly, and you have like MCP server that call an API, the aggregation of data, and then having data access to and operates on your behalf. You don't need UI for that. Like, compare me these two products. Like, first of all, like, show me the best 5 products already. You don't need to scroll pages anymore, right? Just best 5 products. By what criteria? These criteria. Okay. Understood. Now compare these 5. Why they are like, one is better than other? By which criteria, right? Yeah, it's all compared. So now you can make a choice. You don't need, and this is I see. I have a big network of SEO people. I did SEO some time ago, like 10 years ago. It was one of my kinks, I can say now in Berlin. So I was like really in SEO, very deep optimizations, automation, SEO, crawlers, and so on. And I see it's a dying area in general. Like, people are very afraid of what's going on there because Google now announced this AI upfront data delivery. You ask a question, you get directly a product that you are looking for, not even without need to click over the link to go to a website, to a shop system, to navigate, to search there or filter there. You just get the result. And this is very scary because, like, where all this traffic goes, right? Like, it actually now resides in Google or in ChatGPT or in Perplexity or whatever tool you use for your search, right? Like, traffic is kind of remaining. And now a new area is growing, which is what is... it was something like GL. I don't remember what G stands for, but it's
generated search engine optimization.
No, it's basically optimization for AI crawlers, because like
generative AI optimization.
Yeah, AI today is actually still get information very similar way how previous like Google search and other search engines will work, and they are crawlers that go over websites. And the fun part, they also use SEO, by the way, to actually rank and prioritize and understand the value of the website. Is it good? Is it trustworthy website or not? Right? They kind of use old mechanics in a new way, but the thing is that now people see that it doesn't make sense to promote SEO so much, to post content, like especially generated by AI content, right? It's changing as well, right? Like, traffic path is changing, user interactions are changing, but the wholesale optimization in e-commerce now under pressure.
So okay, so I've written down it's going to be a bad time for junior developers. It's going to be a bad time for people building UIs. It's going to be a bad time for people working in SEO. So it's going to be great for 10x, great senior developers.
Look, I think it's actually like it will be as any disruptive innovation, right? Like, it happened many times. I remember there was a picture when in the US there were teachers going and protesting against calculators at schools because they saw that people will not teach mathematics anymore and will not be able to multiply numbers anymore, right? And we are now at this phase, right? Like a disruptive phase. That means everybody will be affected, like in this or that way. Like, just one fun story. I remember it was something like 2008, 2010, something like that. And we were building like a big review website, kind of Yelp.com. And I remember there was like sysadmins, system administrators, actually managing web servers in our basement. And we were considering this time, like the CTO, we had a discussion about like moving to cloud, how cloud was changing, and we decided to move to cloud. And then we had the survey, like asking them, okay, how do you feel it will impact your job? And sysadmin said, I don't feel like there will be impact on my job. I feel very confident that what I did before will be needed in the future, even in the cloud, right? And this time we kind of really underestimated, all of us, we were underestimating the change of just moving to cloud was doing to our skills. Like, it's crazy. Like, if you now just look back in this very short period of time, how your skills changed from managing server setting up your own Nginx server, and now AWS and GCP and Azure there doing this all how profile change. And the same will be with, like, I see that it will happen with every profession will be disrupted in the way, and the way to be on top of this wave is actually to adopt to new way of learning as well. Because as AI is bad at predicting stuff and projecting, it's very good at providing you information about things that already exist, especially if you do special modes like Claude does, like trustworthy mode with all the links and proofs and information background, right? You can actually learn much faster, right? Like you can get now a personalized trainer for a specific area for you to be much better at it much faster, right? So the gap between like junior, I think the acceleration will happen between junior to middle and to senior, and with the way how we learn as well, like what task we do to learn things, right? And today we kind of appreciate this skill to understand how coding works. In 3 years, nobody will even remember that. Like as today, I started my development by changing registers in assembly code. And how useful is this knowledge now?
Yeah, you don't.
Most of the times I don't do. Actually, like recently I had some fun with Arduino where I had to recall knowledge. but in general, like there's so many dead areas of knowledge that are gone, and I think the coding, how we know it will also change, right? That you will not do this thing. You will do other things. It's where juniors will be junior in other areas.
Exactly. Yeah. So did you use AI to create your Arduino?
Arduino, I mean. Yeah. So I had a little project. I just wanted to show at my at the entrance. I wanted to show when next S-Bahn or next metro will come, so that I can always see schedule. So easy to catch it. That's why it's still sitting there, so laying there. But with the AI again, it was super fun because I found a really old iPad screen that I could unpack, and I could connect to Arduino. And now because of that, I have like unlimited possibilities. I have my own screen with all the coded thinking, just that small chipset, which is again unbelievable.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I'm with should probably laying around here somewhere with a Raspberry Pi that now has more possibilities. Now I can just ask AI to create stuff for it. It's really fun. Dennis, thank you so much. I think we haven't even touched half the topics we listed beforehand. For the future historians, I was referring to the Dunning-Kruger effect, not the Meyer-Briggs. Don't do Meyer-Briggs. Dunning-Kruger, that's the one I was talking about. Dennis, thank you so much. I think we're gonna schedule some time soon to do a follow-up and maybe touch upon the others and to see where we are with AI at Spryker as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Guido, for hosting me, and also just to recall our upcoming Excite this year that has a full agenda of developer stage talking about AI topics and how do we nail hybrid programming. What is hybrid programming as well, right? Like, it's all new terms that we need to learn, and how e-commerce changes as well. So tons of interesting talks, and you will see me there as well, and all of our partners and customers will be there. So happy to continue even with one-on-one direct communication there as well.
Yes, September 25th in Berlin, spryker.com/excite. See you there.
That's it.